Hello and welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. We are live today, Saturday, September 21st, 2024, with very important topic, as you can see there below the screen. The topic of discussion today is for how long will Salva Kir Mayardiit manipulate people of South Sudan? Will continue to manipulate people of South Sudan, and also, did people of South Sudan actually make it easier for him to manipulate them? This is going to be the discussion of today. Please, if you tune in, I want you to go ahead and share our live broadcast because this is very important topic tonight. We have to ask this the bigger question: why the manipulation keep continuing? But before we start our discussion today, I want to send, a message of condolence to the family, our colleagues, Akwal Garang Leon, who passed away last week. You know, our thoughts and prayers to all entire family. Akwal will be missed. She was not only an icon, but was an inspirational person. We always disagree and agree in politics, but still we're maintaining the respect, and that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, Akwal care more about the issues, of South Sudan. She care about the current political affairs in the country. She care about the political turmoil, the economic melting down that we are facing in our beloved country. So Akwal, she's a great person. She dearly would be missed by the whole entire community of Medingaul and South Sudan as a whole. So that's my message to all of them. With that, I believe so. We wanted to have this discussion today. I chose actually not to have any, music on this show because we're kind of having issues with copyright always. We are intended actually to promote, our local music with South Sudanese musician, but sometimes, I feel like they tend not to like what we do, and then maybe I felt like we should leave them alone and just continue to do what we are doing now. With this manipulation that's continuing in our country, as I said, for how long will Salva Kiir Mayar, of course, continue to manipulate people of South Sudan? For how long? Because this thing has been going on for quite some times. And that's why I'm asking this question today. And also, did people of South Sudan actually made it, easier for him and whoever with him to continue to manipulate, the whole entire country? I would say yes, because if we talk about the manipulation that I'm talking about, now many of have already heard about the extension, illegal extension, I would call it. And if we answer this question, we can go back and ask how many times actually did Salva Kiir, extended his stay in the office to become president of the Republic of South Sudan? For how long actually has been extended, his stay in the office? Okay. Uh, President Kiir actually has extended his stay in the office four times. Four times. Okay. And this four time, it started on 2015, right? After the war, 2013 atrocity that took place in Juba. Then they have signed, Addis Ababa and giving that mandate of extension of 3 years. Just, count it with me. It was 3 years, from 2015. Okay, 3 years. Then, because he did not want to implement that peace agreement, you remember the dogfight at J1 on July 16, 2016. So extension took place in 2015, and now he abolished that peace agreement that he have signed. And then you got 3 years, right? So 3 years continue. And then on 2018, then he signed another peace agreement with IO, with the SPLM IO in Khartoum. That actually gave him another extension of 3 years. I'm not going to talk about what took place and why, that peace agreement, because all of you know what happened actually, why the peace agreement that signed in 2015 was not implemented. Because President Kiir actually made it clear publicly, this is not a holy Bible or a holy Quran, which is mean that I am not entitled to implement it because I want to rule for life. So Salva Kiir got another 3 years from 2018 agreement that signed in Khartoum. Okay, and then that is the agreement actually we spoke about here on the social media. This is only media that we have. We can raise the voices of the people. This is the voice of the voiceless. People of South Sudan don't have any other mean, of communicating. And because in South Sudan, all the political activities are banned. No one can speak, no freedom of expression, no freedom of assembling, no all of this. You cannot talk about the politics, you cannot assemble, you cannot do rallies in the country. No. Right? So that 2018 agreement also, it was not implemented because President Kiir actually, it was a manipulative. When he brought Young Machar from Pretoria, from confinement, from Pretoria, signing that peace agreement and took him to Juba, it was from tactical point actually, that because he wanted to improve, he wanted the oil to flow again because he was having issues with Khartoum regime at that time. So they continue nearly 4 years with no implementation of that peace agreement. And then they came up with 24 months. Okay, 24 months of extension. Because ARCES, which is Khartoum Peace Agreement, the end of it supposed to be an election. But because the man was not interested in election, because if there is election conducted, if all the articles of peace agreement were implemented, and then South Sudan actually will be seeing light at the end of the tunnel. And also, if the election is conducted, if everything was done in the right manner, the census, writing new constitution, okay, drawing geographical constituencies in the country, then everything would have gone smoothly. But President Kiir actually survived when people are more divided, and you have noticed that in the country. So no implementation. He gave himself another mandate over 24 months. And you recall very well when he bribed the member of National Legislative Assemblies, $18,000. If you recall that very well. So 24 months. So now you have 6 years, 3 years from 2018 to 2015, and then another 3 years from 2018, and then another 24 months. That's give you what? That's give you 8 years. These are 3 extensions. And now, the reason they make an extension after the ARCES not being implemented, they said, oh, well, actually, we did not implement, everything was not implemented, so we want to give ourselves more time, so the implementation will continue. Unfortunately, President Kiir has made a statement before. He said, quote, this agreement was not meant to be implemented, and it cannot be implemented. That's what he said. Okay, he made that agreement in Juba. He made that statement in Juba. And he made another statement before in Addis Ababa in 2017 when he said that I am the president of South Sudan and I must always remain as the president of South Sudan. I will play this clip to remind people of South Sudan about this. So always he sees himself as entitled to be the president of South Sudan as long as he's still alive. So 8 years has gone by and nothing has happened. And because we talk about this, that actually there would be no election. I said this here on Concerned Citizen of South Sudan platform not too long ago, when actually I have a huge discussion that actually there would be no election. Because what I've noticed from the beginning, President Kiir has been manipulating people, has been using political deception, right, to deceive people of South Sudan, to manipulate people of South Sudan, because what he has in his mind, he wants to rule for life. And Kwame Nyang has made that clear on the SPLM Liberation Council meeting in Juba 2 years ago, when he said, Mr. Chairman, now you are the flag barrier of the SPLM party, Now you can rule to the end of your life. So they have agreed upon that actually want to rule for the end of your life until he died in the power. So the idea is that actually there will be election, it was a joke. And I said this, and I keep saying this, because if election is conducted, Salva Kir Mayar is not going to win any election whatsoever. Because Salva Kir Mayar represent hate, represent division, represent death, represent chaos in the country. Since he became president of the Republic of South Sudan, people of South Sudan have not tasted peace and harmony. People of South Sudan have been suffering economically, insecurity, corruption, you name it. Okay. So that's why he's aware that there is no election, because he wants to guarantee being in power until he died. So now, when we ask this question, for how long President Kiir will continue to manipulate people of South Sudan, it's not out of blue. I wonder too, as a concerned citizen, right? And I've known a lot about this person who is leading that nation to nowhere, to chaos, to division, to corruption. That's what he's good at. That actually, as long as we have Salva Kiir president and Riek Machar is the vice president in that country, South Sudan is not going to go anywhere. He will not go anywhere. And actually, we have proved that over and over and over again. So now the idea is that they come up with another extension for another 24 months. I personally was aware of it. That actually, this is what they are going to do. And the idea is actually they come out with something called we are going to do Tumaini initiative. It was a joke too, because they knew that they were to the end of their interim period, but they want to acquire legitimacy. And to acquire legitimacy, they have to come up with something. And that's why they proposed Tumaini initiative. But Tumaini initiative, it was not meant for anything, nothing. Okay? Nothing is going to happen with that Tumaini initiative. It was just for time consuming, just to consume time. And I know, as we say, in Sudanese, that actually Tumaini is like nomad besh via den nas pagana momu and Paul Malone. Okay, it's like Luthibesh, as we say, mat via denim. Unfortunately, that's what it is. I think they should have known better. That actually Kir has been manipulating for a very long time. But you know what? They felt that they wanted to get a little bit share of the lion. Maybe they should go in because they are getting older. But look what happened now. Manipulating citizens and manipulating his colleagues and manipulating those who are in oppositions. So this extension is illegal. But the interesting thing, if you read the arses, there is Article 8.4, which is talk about the extension. The interesting thing about this article, and Kir Asu has been using that article, and along with Dr. Riek Machar, they've been using that article to make an extension. But interesting, there is no limit for an extension that they've been proposing. It should have limit there, because you cannot make an extension forever. You see, now since 2018, how many times they extended? They extended 3 times, and there is no limit. And they can extend and extend and extend and extend as long as they are, in power. So he has been using that particular article always to make an extension. And yet, the citizen of the country, that's why I said, did we make it easy? Did the citizen of South Sudan actually make it easy for Salva Kiir, to continue, manipulating? Because this is a sort of manipulation. This is the guy actually last year stood before the people and said, you know what? Why is everybody complaining about my leadership? Why everybody's complaining and I am an old man? Look at me, I'm sick. I have even not even a few months, which is to die. But unfortunately, it's not going to die soon. I don't know when, because I have no control. I don't know when I'm going to die too. But actually, he has been so smart, but using the fox, strategy. And don't forget, Kir Mayar is from a one. He's he's a fox. So when he said that, actually, look at me, I'm an old man, why people are giving me a hard time. So which is mean that he want people to, sympathize, with him, to let him lead, to let him be in power. But actually that's a manipulation too. And this is how facts behave. This is how behave. And people of South Sudan actually with their resilience have been exploited, exploited. Because they are very resilient people. And that's why Kir with his colleague, those who wanted to maintain power and want to continue to loot and steal, they have actually took advantage of resilience of people of South Sudan and continue to manipulate, continue to loot, continue to steal, continue to do all these things, and continue to make an extension always so they can remain in power. So now I want you to remind yourself, when he said that how many months left for me, it's simply because he wants you to sympathize with him so he can continue. It's not because he's sick, he's going to die. No. Again, he's using, tactic of fox. Fox can be a friend. It can be so friendly to you to get what he wanted to get. And that's actually what he has been using. It will pretend that he's a sick man. It will pretend that he's an old man. It will pretend that he's a liberator. But yet, if you ask yourself as a concerned citizen, as a citizen of South Sudan, what was the fight was all about? Was it about Kir to be in power for life? Or was it to be, not to be a second-class citizen, to have services, to have justice, liberty, and prosperity? Was it about those? But was it about Salva Kiir to lead for life and there is no developmental project in the country? No improvement of economy in the country? Was it about that? That's the question actually you should ask yourself if you are a concerned citizen, if you are a citizen that actually care about your nation and care about the well-being of the people of South Sudan. Yet they have been using propaganda. Actually, those who are outside of the country, they keep talking and shouting and just criticizing them. But we are right. What we have been saying has been right. We are right. We continue to talk about the governance, about the unity, about the economy, about the well-being of the people, about the services. And these are the things that leadership all about. Because if you are a leader and you don't have empathy to the people, then you are not. Which is we have in the country, actually, we have just manipulators. We don't have leaders in our country. And if I may ask one question, one particular question. So since Salva Kir Mayar have extended his stay in the office 4 times, 3, 24, 24. So that's going to be like what? 10 years, extension 10 years. That's what it's going to be exactly. 10 years extension. Leave alone when he took over since 2005 all the way to 2015. That's 10 years. But I don't care about that time because there were a consensus within the country. There was something called South-South dialogue after we gained our independence. And he continued to carry on. And people of South Sudan have a faith that actually President Kiir will conduct election on time. He will conduct election on time. But no, he find a way to get his foot in and he start clinging to his gun to remain in power. If I ask now a clear question, what have we gained from all these extensions? If you ask yourself today, لو سألت نفسك استفدنا شنو من extensions الكتير ديل from 2015 all the way to 2018, 3 years, have we gained anything from extension? Will security improve in the country? Did we approve? Were there improvement on the unity in the country? Did we improve? Did he improve the economic in the country? Did his government diversify economy using the oil money to farm the country so we can produce our food locally and have farm, produce food locally? Did that happen? Was there any developmental project in the country that we can say, oh, there are schools, there are hospitals, there is this, there are road, leave alone the road to Barkazal, road to nowhere for years and years and spending billions of dollars, and there is no road, actually it's not going anywhere. This is the question. Have we benefit? Have you benefit as a citizen? Did people of South Sudan benefit from extension from 2015 to 2018? Nothing. Instead, chaos continue. Instead, division continue. Instead, death continue. Instead, they've been stealing more money and more money and more money and taking their children outside and just remain in power. And South Sudanese have become poorer and poorer and poorer and poorer. Is that what we want to happen? That the first extension alone. The second extension also, when they signed a peace deal, 2018, was there an improvement? Did they implement peace agreement? Apart from Riek Machar going to Juba and just getting his position as the vice president, and some of his people got appointed, and just they are receiving the salaries and nothing, no improvement, no compensation, no hybrid court, nothing and nothing and nothing. You see, all this extension, people of South Sudan are not benefit from it. They were meant for interim period so things can be sorted out, constitution can be written, okay, census can be conducted, at least there will be improvement in the economy. We can have a policy of farming so we can produce our food locally, but it's not happening. Because what Kir think, if people of South Sudan are stable, if they are not thinking about their well-being, security, or something like that, and then they will be thinking, they'll be eyeing about the seat. And then they will be eyeing about the developmental project, why we have money, why this thing is not happening, and why, and why, and why. This is something that he is not interested. And that's why all these extension are not benefiting people. Instead, are creating more chaos. Instead, are bringing more problems in the country. Because this is how it designed it. So not benefit from 2018 extension and another 24 months that they put, after 2018, nothing, because they came publicly and he has been talking about conducting an election, that actually we are going to conduct an election and nothing can stop us from conducting an election. Okay. So talking about election. And you remember what I used to say, that there will be no election. I keep continuing that, saying that there will be no election because it was just a manipulation. It was just a tactic from President Kir. He wants to drive people. He wants to fool people. And he has been fooling them for a very long time. That talk about election, Makoylo would say that, oh, we will do election whether you like it or not. We will do election with other parties or not. Even SPLM alone can do election. You remember all these statements? What happened? And I knew it since day one. I said there will be no election. They are just trying to lie to the people of South Sudan that there will be election. So people cannot, rise up. People cannot rise up. People can give them that opportunity. But they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. And I knew what they were doing. And I said, at the end of the day, what they will do, they will come and say, oh, well, we don't have budget. The environment is not conducive. And this and this and that. And we said those 2 years ago. We said, actually, they will kill the time. They will buy the time. And then when we reach there, and then they will say, no election. Because if they were sincere about conducting election, they would have done it since the beginning of RCS, because they would have implemented RCS. Because at the end of the RCS, end of the peace agreement, Khartoum peace agreement, the end of it is election. But they chose not to do it. What is the reason for you to believe that they are going to do it in 24 months after the RSS 3 years? There is no reason to believe that because the guy did not do it in the first place. Do you think he's going to do it? He has fooled you for a very long time. So this is the same tactic. So 24 months pass and nothing. And we've been talking here, crying and consisting and saying that they're supposed to have minimum requirement for election, at least writing permanent constitution. Also conducting census in the country, drawing a geographical constituencies in the country. So we know exactly how many people in the district would have one representative in the parliament. Okay. And stabilize the security in the country. So registration can take place and political party can be registered. But none of this has happened. None of this has happened purposely. It was done purposely. So when they get to the end, and then they will say, no, we have no way of doing it. So they can come with another extension. Because as I said from the beginning, he has been using Article 8.4 for an extension. And that article, actually, there is no limit on the RSS. They can extend as much as they want. They have freedom of extending. And another point that I wanted to bring to your attention too, SPLM-IO is not registered as a political party. SPLM-IO was the warring party. They were fighting, okay, party to the peace agreement. They signing peace agreement so stability can come to the country. That's what it was. So SPLM-IO, their interest, actually, their interest is just this government to continue making an extension, to continue extension. Because if there is no more extension, and then the mandate of them is gone. That's why you hear when they were talking about the election, do you remember last time, they were talking about election, they were saying that, oh, well, how election can take place and we are not allowed to go and campaign. How election can be, and we are not campaigning, and we are not giving that conducive environment in the country, right? Now, after they make the extension, what happened? Have you heard any word from SPLM-IO complaining, saying anything, talking about any election or something like that? No. Because that's what it is. Because they want just to be in power. Kir wanted to be president, Riek wanted to be vice president, because Riek Machar himself, he knows if there is an election today, or if the election is conducted, he will not win an election. Kir knows he will not win election. Both of them are not going to win any election in South Sudan because people of South Sudan are fed up. They are the reason South Sudan is in chaos. You know very well the National Dialogue is steering committee when they get out of the report, what they said on that document. When people were asked in 79 counties, the bigger question, what went wrong? The answer was clear from the people of South Sudan, that actually there is a grand corruption, that actually Kir Mayardiit and Riek Machar, they are the problem of the country. And if South Sudan has to see light at the end of the tunnel, then there is a need for President Kir and Riek Machar to exit political life. But unfortunately, there are no-brainers from everywhere. Those who are supporting Riek, those who are supporting Kir, no-brainers, I call them. They see them like a messiah, but they are not. They are not. They are the reason people of South Sudan are keep dying from hunger, from disease, from insecurity, from all these things. They are the reason that South Sudan is backward. But these people, they don't get it. And that's why I was asking a question. Did people of South Sudan actually contribute to this manipulation? Because if you said no, enough is enough, and then it would be enough. But Salva Kiir, there is no fear. There is no fear. It would bring soldiers from Uganda and pay them and pay people in that region and do what he wanted to do. Because, again, like I said from the beginning, he took advantage of resilience of the people of South Sudan. Because South Sudanese are good people, are so resilient. Right? And you need to rethink about this. You need to rethink about this. Because it doesn't matter. 4 years, 5 years extension, nothing is going to improve. President Kiir has made it clear that actually he's the president of South Sudan and he wants to remain, he must. That's it. He said he must remain as the president of South Sudan. He said that.
Have your people.
He said that. He said that numerous times.
Have your.
You know? So, it's your call. It is your call. We have been talking for a very long time. Let me go ahead and get that. So, don't take me wrong. The price of dollars has gone up, right? It was way up, like 500 pounds per dollar. Look what they did. He went to China. Okay, they have money. This is what we have been saying, that they have been stealing money, and they have money. And then he came out from China. And then all of a sudden they say, oh, well, they put some money on the market. And now all of a sudden people are start saying that, oh, the economy, the dollar has gone down to 200. Would you believe that? That's what, there's no magic. You know, numbers don't lie. But that was done purposely. They did that temporarily to lower the temperature of the people. So people can say, oh, wow, there's some improvement that President Kiir is doing, you know, with those, you know, they are ruling the country. It was done in a way that, let's do this, and then we come up with the extension. And then when we come up with extension, maybe that's not going to be too much. And then people are going to keep quiet. Now, what happened to dollar again? Has it remained the same? The same price? No, it hasn't. So that's another manipulation that they have used too. That's another manipulation that they have used. And they will continue, my dear brothers and sisters, you know, to use this manipulation until Kir Mayar is dead. Because his ideas is to rule for life. He said it, others have said it, Kwal Manyang has said it, and he said it himself. That's what he's interested. He's not interested in anything else. Right? So the question is, for how long are we going to be like this? For how long are you going to suffer? Is it worth it to die from hunger and diseases? Or is it worth it for you to ask for your freedom, to ask for your right? Because if you are killed asking for your right, the history will remember you. But if you are dying from the hunger, from the diseases, no one is gonna mention you in the history. No. That's one thing every concerned citizen of South Sudan must understand. And I want to tell you this, my dear brothers and sisters, that actually extension did not make any changes in your life, did not make any changes in the country. Instead, those manipulators call themselves leaders. They vested to maintain power. And they continue to do that. The other day, you know, Dr. Martin Elia Lomoro was making a very sarcastic statement, saying that they are actually like mandated by the Bible that they are leaders and then they need to be respected. But let me tell you this. You are not a leader, Martin Elia Lomoro. Either Salva Kiir or Riek Machar or whoever in this government, you are not leaders. You are such a manipulators. Because the leader is somebody who has empathy to the people. It's somebody who thinks about the orphan. It's somebody who thinks about the widows. It's somebody who thinks about the hungry child who will go to bed with nothing. It's somebody who thinks about building a school so the children of martyrs and the orphan will go to school. Those are the leaders. But you are not. You are thieves because you steal for yourself. You steal for yourself and you take your family out and you invested in your family from the wealth of the nation. You are not a leader. Don't even say that. It's shame to speak that. It's shame to say something about the Bible that actually the Bible mandate us to be a leader of this nation and we should be respected. No, hell no. You are thieves. All of you are thieves because no one is concerned about the country. When you are a leader, actually, you have to be concerned. But what is your concern? If I may ask Kir Mayar, what is his concern in this country? Has he improved economy? Has he improved security? Instead, he created insecurity. He divided people within the smaller communities. Where in this world, a fair of a smaller community, they just wanted to do their own election. President will come and interfere. Just community. Look what happened to Tweet Mayardiit. Look what happened to Tweet Mayardiit area. Those chief there, right there in the villages, President Kir will make a presidential decree to appoint chief. Where in the world will that happen? Where the president can just go and fire a lecturer, teacher at the university simply because he differed politically, or that teacher actually want to bring awareness to the citizen, the student. You are not a leader. You are actually against the people of South Sudan. You are a manipulator. You behave like a fox, and you are a fox. But those who did not know you are the one that in trouble. But people like us, we knew who you are. We knew who you are. You cannot manipulate me. You cannot fool me. And that's why I tell my brothers, those of Pagan, they were rushing. That Gali, there is something called Tumaini. Where's Tumaini now? That's exactly like what happened in 2020 and 2015. He signed peace agreement, right? Let me remind you, if you forgot. Yeah, Nas, let me remind you. He signed peace agreement in Addis in 2015. And then later, he went to National Legislative Assembly and he stood tall and he said, we have initiated national dialogue. And national dialogue is the way forward. And he said, national dialogue, I would abide by the results of national dialogue. What happened later, a few years later? He meant to abolish peace agreement of 2015 by creating something else, which is national dialogue, by initiating. Yeah, Jama, I have been monitoring this guy from the toe to the head. I swear to God, I know exactly what Kir does. I do. So to abolish that peace agreement of 2015, he created national dialogue. But when the results of national dialogue came against him, what did he do? He took those results and put them in drawer, and nobody talked about it since then. When the national dialogue final report said that, indicated that President Kir Mayardiit, they must exit political life because they are the mess of this nation. They created division because we are a new country. And like you are building a house. That's very unfortunate. We are so unfortunate. People of South Sudan are so unfortunate to have somebody like Kir to be the first leader in their country. Because the first leader must be a charismatic, must be somebody who has a concern, somebody who has empathy, somebody who really, really loves people. So he can set up a solid foundation for the nation. But he did not. He did not. He didn't care about that. He did not care about that. He manipulated to remain in power. So he brought national dialogue to abolish peace agreement of 2015, and he successfully done it. He stood tall on December 14, 2016, and he said, national dialogue is the way forward. But a lot of people went, including Nad Abraham Awolech, PCCA member of civil society. They went 79 counties, and the bigger question was what went wrong in the country. And people of South Sudan spoke loud and clear: corruption, mismanagement, lack of services, insecurity, and grand corruption al-kabir, big corruption. Who is the head of that corruption? Is President Kir and Riek Machar. And if we need to see the light, if we need our country to get out of the mess, and then these two, they have to go away. And if they don't go away, we are not. They were right. They were right. Kir did not go away. Riek did not go away, and we are still in mess. And mess continue. People continue to die. Division continue. No economic growth. Insecurity. We depend on foreign neighboring. And South Sudan have 80% of land qualified for agriculture. We can produce our food locally. A government can make it a policy, but he will not. Because it does not have that empathy, as I said. He's a manipulator, he's not a leader. You see? So, the history repeats itself again. Whatever he did in 2016 with the national dialogue, now he's doing it again. So he successfully keeps making extension, and now he came up after they fell with the election thing because it was pre-planned. They give themselves 24 months so they can register, they can do census, they can write constitution, but nothing was done. They were borrowing money and pocket the money, stealing the money, and they did not want to do anything with the election. They were just talking about it. Even President Kir said, we will do election. This is the only way. How many times President Kir spoke about election? 1,000 times he said about election. Makoilu 1,000 times. Riek Machar, Munu. Everybody talk about election. That election will be conducted. But I made it clear. Lofi election hustle, Lofi intikhabat, just pull my ears. I said this. Go back, review my videos. I said that. I said there will be no election. So now Kir come up like what he did in 2016 with national dialogue. He came up with something called Tumaini to fool these guys because it's easy to fool them. He fooled them. He was able to fool them. He said, I'm going to fool these, guys. Easy to fool them. Now we are approaching the end. The interim period of 24 months is done. We did not do anything. We didn't do census. We did not do constitution. We didn't do anything. So now we need to legitimize ourselves in the office. And then he start bribing those, cheerleaders, National Legislative Assembly. I call them cheerleaders, just dancers. They are dancers. They are not member of parliament. Okay? He did. And now he came up with this. And even before the process, he can finish. And then they came up, oh, now we want to make an extension. And then those guys, they man go to the lute abiat fi denam nas pagan Paul Malong katalolum lute abiat fi denam Tumaini. I call Tumaini lute abiat. When you play dominus, you know what I'm talking about. If you are somebody familiar with the dominus in South Sudan, katalom fi denam. It was a lie. It was a big lie. So they continue manipulating. They continue lying to the people of South Sudan. And that's why I said from the beginning, 4 extension, Ajama, 4 extension. 3 years, 24 months. So 4 years, 10 years. So Salva Kiir is going to have 10 years extension and then 10 years from the regular. Okay, when he was the president of Southern Sudan as a region from 2006, 2005, all the way, to 2000 and what? And 13 when 2011. And then there is South-South dialogue, South Sudanese political party. They came together and they said, okay, well, this guy actually has been okay. Let him continue until 2015. And then we have our first general election ever. But because remember what I said, because he was not a leader. Kir is not a leader. Kir is a manipulator. He's not a leader. He didn't care. He didn't have any empathy. Mafi shafaqa. He didn't care about the good reputation, about the cost that people of South Sudan have fought for 22 years because they want to live with decency. They want justice, liberty, and prosperity. He didn't care about this. He created war in 2013. So we can have political turmoil, and then from here, we can come up with, extension, and then you can continue. And he successfully have done that and continuing extension, because even from 2011, Maybe I guess it would have a chance, if he did the process right, because people at least they would have given him, the benefit of conducting the referendum, okay, of bringing Paulina Mateb and making that unifying thing. At least it would have that chance of winning 2015 election, right? But because the man rushed to conclusion, he said, no, you know what? There is a shortcut here. I have to make a shortcut, and I don't want that. Maybe somebody, genius will come up and say, talk to the people of South Sudan and campaign, effectively, and say, hey, this guy didn't do anything. And if I am elected, I will do A and B and C and D. And then they cut it off, with his colleagues, say, why are you wasting your time? I mean, now that they don't know anything. We can just, rule them for life. You can rule them for life. And that's what happened. And he has done it. Because he's not a leader, he's a manipulator. And that's why I said from the beginning, any Sudan, South Sudan is not is not fortunate. We are very unfortunate, to have somebody like that from the beginning, since from the get-go. It would have been vice president, it would have been minister of something, defense, whatever, it's okay. But South Sudan actually needs somebody who loves South Sudan. South Sudan needs somebody who loves South Sudanese. South Sudan needs somebody who actually have that, jealousy. They feel like, this is my country. I wanted to do this. I wanted to build it. I want to see roads. I want to see bridges. I want to see hospitals. I want economic to grow. I want young people to have opportunity, jobs. I need somebody like that. That's what South Sudan need. And that's what Deng Fanan said. Sudan like when they were struggling, said Sudan cannot be ruled by somebody who loves himself. Sudan can be ruled with somebody, or can be governed with somebody who is selfless. South Sudan cannot be ruled, cannot be led by somebody who loves himself so much, like Slava Kir Mayardiit. Somebody who just wants himself, somebody who just get on the plane and travel outside and red carpet and all this thing, and he doesn't care about the flood happening to Agar people in Rumbek, the flood happening in Unity State, people are dying in Jungle, Anuag is killed, and people are dying in Equatoria, people are dying everywhere. South Sudan doesn't need a leader like that. South Sudan need a leader that when something happens, he will pick up the phone, or he will go there and comfort those who need comfort and talk to them. My sons and daughters, my countrymen, what I can do, this is what I can do. But have you heard people dying, something happening? Salva Kiir go there and talk about it? Whether it's a flood, whether it's a fire, whether it's whatever, whether it's insecure, whether it's people are coming raiding or cattle raiding or, killing people, whether in Equatoria or in Upper Nile and Bargazal. Have you heard that? No. Instead, it will divide the communities. It will go actually and look for the loyalists within small clans and try to get these people to support him. And then soon they support him, it will turn them against their own people within the community. So your own brother, if you speak up and say, no, what is happening is wrong, your own brother will confront you. This is what he is invested. He has been invested all these years, nearly 20 years, cultivating hate among the people of South Sudan. I don't know why you don't see it. I don't know. Some people who don't see it. Can you see it now? He has been cultivating that hate, whether in Twitch, whether in Jonglei, between the Boer and the Twitch East, whether in Nuer, between those of Gajag and Gawar, in Law and all this in Equatoria, everywhere. It's successfully, because always in every community there are those, puppets who wanted to eat, You will get them always. And then he will use those. He will use them. And he said, you know what? You do what I tell you. Do my agenda to divide people. And they continue to divide and divide and divide and divide and divide. Now, all entire country is divided. Division that South Sudanese, they never had in their life. Even when we were fighting the Jalaba, when we were confined in our villages, in our town, we were not divided to this, what we have now. But because Kir wanted to rule, because he survived, when people are divided, that's how he survived. Because he knows when people of South Sudan are united, people of South Sudan will do something bigger. Yes, when we were united, we were able to fight our common enemy, in 1954 all the way when we achieve Addis Ababa, right? But when somebody were able, to manipulate too, like what Abelalia did with Numerian manipulation and all these things, people of South Sudan were divided, and then we fell. You see. And again, we were united, and we went and fought for liberation struggle, and we were able, to defeat our enemy through the valid vote. You see, because we were so united. But now Kir came with some thugs, and then they were able, to manipulate and divide people of South Sudan again. And that's why I'm calling upon you to ring that, and remember that more when we are divided, we are failing. But when we are united, we will defeat our common enemy. And actually, our common enemy is not even far away. It's in J1. That's our common enemy right now. The common enemy of people of South Sudan, the one that dividing them, the one that is stealing the resources, the one that robbing the future of the children is in J1. It's not far away. It's not far away. We used to sing that in our area, in Awil North, Awil West. Kibaya Paninga by a Mogalay. Kibaya Paninga by a Mogalay. Who is the country belong to? The foreigners, the strangers are the one that ruling. We used to say that to Jalaba. Kibaya Paninga by a Mogalay. Undiri Majuere, Undiri Pena Tagdit. Ranchi Makema could will Jalman, Ninga Bunam Lang by na lang panun, Oga Bichina there. Kibaya Paninga by a Mogalay. Kibaya Paninga by a Mogalay. When more were danged, when more were danged. I'm not going to finish that. But yeah, by the country is ruled by strangers. Salva Kiir is a stranger. Riek Machar is a stranger. Because when you are a stranger, you do a strange thing. You will kill people. You will still, you will rip them apart when you are a stranger. And that's what Jalaba used to do. They send Maram in, they send, army in, they bomb, they did all sort of a thing, because they want to tear us apart. And they're successful, they have done it. But we were fighting even with just only spear. When they come there around the Kir and Kir Adem, our ancestors, our great-great-great-great-grandfather, they did not run away from that area. And until up to date, we stayed there. We defeated them. My grandfather, even my grandfather Mayardiit, he used to spear the horses, and then he will throw the Jalaba away. Damn it. And then they will not come back again. We are ruled by strangers, my dear brothers and sisters. Citizens of South Sudan, yes, they are South Sudanese. They speak like South Sudanese. They are Dinkas, they are Nuer, they are Bari, they are Lotuka, they are whatever. But they are strangers because they have strange hearts. They don't have heart for you. They have heart for their stomach. That's what they have. That is stranger. When you don't have heart for your people, and then you are a stranger. When you behave like fox, you come, what fox does? It will come and check your luck. And you check and check and check and check. And later it will come, boom. It starts stealing your goats and all this thing. We are ruled by strangers. And that's why you need to think about this. That actually they don't love you. They manipulate you. They don't have empathy. Tell me, what was the last time crises are happening in the country? Salva Kiir visited. Tell me when's the last time Salva Kiir visited Upper Nile? He went to Malakal or Rang Sakit or Maban. Okay, when? Leave that alone. Equatorial. What was the last time he went to Yei or Torit? Right? When? Or Yambio? Because he knows he has done a lot of bad things. What he worried about is himself always. And let me tell you another thing. Nobody talk about this except me. Salva Kiir, he ran foreign airplanes, right? Ethiopian Airlines, Rwanda Airlines, Kenya Airlines. Because the guy knows he has the security mentality. Even the people that, staying with him in the office, he doesn't trust them because he has done so poorly and so bad. That's why he has to get in this plane tomorrow, another one to, he's not brave even. He's not brave enough because he said, if we bought a plane now and written on it, the Republic of South Sudan, that's the presidential airplane, he feared that actually would be knocked down by angry South Sudanese people. And that's why he has to rent, go and ride, go and fly with what? With a passenger passengers airplane. Do you think he cannot afford it? He can afford it. He can even buy it with the credit from the Boeing company. He can do it. That's cowardness. See, because when you do bad to people, you will always worry about yourself. When you steal from the people, you will not even enjoy that money. You will always hide. You will eating like this, because somebody will see you. See, that's what it is. I know the guy, Ajama, from the toe to the head. I know their manipulation. So they will keep extending and extending and extending. Since the ARSIS, the Article 8.4 has no limited, there's no limit. It should have limit that you can make an extension for 2 times. That said, you cannot make another extension. But now extension for 4 times. 4-time extension. He's enjoying extension. He's in love with that. Because any election, Salva Kiir will not win any election whatsoever. He will not win. So, I want you to know that no one can determine your destiny. You and me, we can determine that. And that's why I continue with this civic education. But you have to act. You have to act and ask for your right. No one is going to hand your right over. The country is being ruled by strangers. Again, I will repeat it. Strangers. They are not South Sudanese in their hearts. They look South Sudanese. Maybe they have the mark in their head or the dots in their forehead, right? But their hearts are not South Sudanese hearts. Are not. They are manipulators. They don't care. They care about the money. They care about the power. That's what they care. So what needed to do? We must reject them. We must say enough is enough. 3 extension didn't change any life, didn't do anything. There's no security improvement. There's no developmental project. There is no, we are not even farming in our country. We are not dependent on ourselves. There is no schools. So why should we allow another? Why should we accept? We should not accept that. You can reject that. You have that ability. But because President Kiir knows that you are not going to act. And that even he started insulting people, even when he started saying that, oh, Anama Indinas that Biakul. And he's the one that eating too, because he will appoint somebody who's corrupt, because he's corrupt. Right? And look now what they are doing with Bolmel. I was laughing, when people were complaining and talking about Bolmel and saying this about Bolmel. Bolmel is a transaction. You know what I mean, transaction. Transaction, it means that the money will go through him. Money will go to his bag, and then he will carry this money and he will give it to the master. That's what he's doing. Bolmel is like a house nigger. You know house nigger? Yeah. He will take money from oil money. They will go to his account, and then from there we'll take it to the bank. And now people are saying, oh, well, Bolmel is going to be thrown under the bus. Soon, Jamal. Mark my word. Bolmel is going to be like Paul Malone. That's what's going to happen to him. Because what Salva Kiir does, he will make you hated by your people. And he's the beneficial, actually, of that. So Bolmel will steal money, will bring money to him. That's an agreement, of course. And people will start hating Bolmel. They make him a rat. He's not a rat. Kiir is the rat one. He's the big rat one. Don't even say Bolmel is a rat. No. They're all rats. But this is the bigger rat here. It's the one. But Bolmel actually is going to be thrown under the bus very soon. Because now he make him hated by the people. And then there are some people within Warab community too. They just want this guy, get this guy away. They want their own guy to get in so they can eat also. So they're going to throw him under the bus very soon. The other day, I saw one of the local singer in Medingawul, that ugly guy, he was crying. He was crying. He was saying that, Kolkor, and why Kolkor is doing this, to our will people. Kolkor didn't do anything. Didn't do anything. You, we, the one that following these guys, the one that actually making themselves cheap, loyal, running after them. They are the one. Didn't do anything. Akolkor doing his thing. He can manipulate. He can do anything because he wanted to survive too. He wanted to steal. He wanted to remain in power. That's what he's doing. I saw Kun Matwangis was crying that this this Akolkor and all these things. What the heck Akolkor has to do with it? Who is boss of Bolmel? It's Salva Kiir. And if Bolmel got fired, then Kiir is the one that fired him. And even I said this to General Malong last time when I met with him, when he said that I don't have any problem with Kiir. Kiir actually is good. Kiir doesn't. And I said Kiir is not good. I told him, that Kiir is a one, and he's coming from a one. When Kiir wanted to fight you, he will not fight you directly. He will send somebody to fight you, and that's what he does. That's what he's good at. Okay, so it's not a Kolkur fighting you. Salva Kiir is fighting you. Why don't you fight the guy? You have nothing to do with that guy because Kiir is the boss. Kiir was your boss, and he's boss for a Kolkur. And if a Kolkur is coming, giving you a hard time, and then you should talk to him. Hey, we are all under your leadership. Why this guy is giving a hard time? So those who are they don't want to talk about Kiir, they just leave him here and they just go and I said other people because they scared. They are wasting the time. Why? Don't spear on the shadow of the elephant. Just spear the elephant. Spear the elephant because the elephant is the problem, right? Or the hyena. Hyena is the problem. Elephant, the skin target. Hyena is the problem. Spear the hyena because the hyena is the one that keeps stealing and keep killing and keep doing a lot of bad things. You know what I mean? So you keep crying. And that's why I said long time ago, fairness is good for all of us. Justice, liberty, and prosperity. These are the core values South Sudanese fought for 22 years. And we need to implement them. Because when we implement them, you can be in power today, but tomorrow you can be out of the power. And if you don't have power, what is going to protect you? You are going to be vulnerable. But when the law is enforced and is respected, that law will respect you, will protect you when you are no longer there. But now you can enjoy, because you have power, you have those, security, they're going around you and all this. You are the powerful, you are the king, you are the whatever, you are the queen, you are this, you are a businessman, you are a businesswoman, and blah, 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 and all this thing, stealing, money laundering. But when you are out of that power and there is no law to protect you and there is no transparency, you are going to suffer like people who are suffering now. This is what I said a long time ago. And I will continue saying that. I fear nobody. I don't care. I don't need any power. I have jealousy for my country, my people. I want fairness. I want decency. That's what I needed. And that's why I have to be consistent in what I do. And I will continue. You see, I buy my own internet and do a live show, my own equipment, and do it because I love South Sudan and I care about South Sudan. And I will continue with civic education. I will. Salva Kiir with extension, there is no election. Don't be fooled. There is no election in 2026. He just wanted to do another extension. Salva Kiir has made it clear. I am the president of South Sudan, and I must always remain as a president of South Sudan. Must. You hear that word in English? Must. لابد أن أكون رئيسا لدولة السودان الجنوبي إلى الأبد. Kwame Nyang have said, Mr. Chairman, you are a flag bearer. Now you can rule to the end of your life. What is the end of life? Is when somebody die. That's the end of life. So he wants to rule until he die. That's the end of the extension. And then another crazy guy will come in if we are not coming together. And that's why we need to come together and confront the strangers and confront the real enemy in J1, the real enemy of the people of South Sudan. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. Reject the extension. Reject the extension and rise up and rise up. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being part of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. I posted the link actually, and I was thinking if somebody wanted to come up, they're more than happy. Maybe I can give you 1 or 2 minutes to come up, and if not, maybe I would love to conclude here and go and do another function. We need to see the light of the end of the tunnel, but we cannot see the light of the end of the tunnel if Kir and Riak continue to manipulate. They continue. Now everybody's happy. They want to have another, 24 months. You know what? They cannot say 4 months, 4 years, because they know they will do 24 months, and then 24 months is finished, and then they will come out with another 24 months. And people are dying from hunger, and they cannot even make it a policy to farm. There is a lot of stable places, but they will not do it. They will not do it. Nobody wanted to come, right? So with that, I would like to thank you for being here and watching. I want you to give me a favor. I want you to share this live broadcast so many South Sudanese who are not aware of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan, who are not aware of this guy called John Cormayol, always, some of those manipulators in J1 thing that is making noise, can hear this message. Help me share it. Because you know what they did? They have hired. So to divert. So our live show, so it used to show to a lot of South Sudanese, but not anymore. They don't get notification because they are working hard. You remember last time when Bolmil was speaking with that guy, Gorogori, they said, oh yeah, we pay money and we did this, we do this, we do this. Yes, they do. They are so disgusted about what we do, but we are doing the right thing. We are with the people. We love the people. We love our country, and we continue to do that. I'm not going to give up. We are more than willing to pay the blood of our heart for our people. That's the most important thing. So don't just die from hunger, from disease, and you know who is taking your resources. You can confront that. You can speak up. You can confront that. And I know you can do it, because when South Sudanese are united, we are always stronger to defeat our enemy. And we have done it. We have done it in 1954 all the way to Addis Ababa. We have done it in liberation struggle 1983 until we achieved the Machakos peace agreement. And we have done it when we voted together overwhelmingly and we seceded from Sudan. And now we can do it again because the strangers are in J1 and they don't care and they have no empathy to widow, to orphan, to children of martyrs. They don't have empathy, to our elder, to youth, to anyone in the country. What they do, they vested the power in them so they can rule to their life. Thank you so much for watching, and please share this, share it in the group, share it everywhere. I want you. That's the only thing that you can help with. If you love South Sudan, that's what you can do. And don't forget also to subscribe our channel on YouTube, John Cormayol in YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe it, so many people also can get all the new video that we'll be posting. Thank you and have a lovely night.